Hi, this is Peter.
Hi, this is Sandra.
And we are medievalist.net.
And we're talking about the second episode of Game of Thrones today.
Yeah, after the season premiere, it kind of comes off. We have, I guess, more of defined of what's going to be happening over the next plans and stuff like that. That's going to seems to be rolling out for this season. So, where do you want to begin?
I'll let you begin.
Well, first of all, I think a lot of this show was about Theon Greyjoy. He seemed to be kind of he wasn't he didn't have most airtime, but it seems his character gets developed the most. So we get to see him first his obligatory porn scene, which seems to be every episode of Game of Thrones has one. So he gets that, and then he kind of comes in. We finally get a little learn about what he was doing there, about this place he's coming from. We meet his sister Yara and his father, who's and the other Greyjoys seem very tough. This is they remind me of these kind of Scottish Highlanders, kind of really rugged kind of people, and they're Theon, you wear a dress and stuff like that. So it was kind of interesting to see that. And Theon is kind of like, well, I'm going to try and make you. I have an agreement that will make you king. It's like I'm gonna become king because I'm the just out of my iron and blood and stuff like that. No one's gonna give me the kingship. So that was kind of an interesting kind of part there. So I kind of like that. So that was kind of my most kind of enjoyable part of the show. So. Your thoughts on Theon?
I disagree with you entirely. I don't think Theon was featured very much. I actually think the show focused a lot on Tyrion and him maneuvering himself as the Hand and Cersei's failings.
Yeah, I did like Tyrion, but he's a main character, so to me, I'm seeing a lot of what Tyrion. This is what I kind of expect to see from Tyrion. He's a little clever. There was that line he gave to the character of the ball.
Janos Slynt,
yes.
The head of the Gold Cloaks.
So he wound up, and he kind of gave the line that I'm not like Ned Stark, which was really telling of where he is and stuff like that. So he kind of plays off that. So, but with him, it's these were kind of stuff I kind of expected with him, and he's got. Again, a scene with his girlfriend, and other kinds of, just kind of political intrigues. So, but your thoughts? You liked it
on what?
Oh, on Tyrion.
Yeah, no, I always liked Tyrion. He's always been one of my favorite characters, and he's interesting. And he does his intrigue well, and he insults Cersei, which I love. Mm-hmm. And basically, he's not going to be taken for a fool, the way Ned was.
What are your thoughts on Cersei and and what we learn about her in this kind of episode?
Nothing new. I mean, she's still floundering horribly.
She seems to be, for a person that wants to have control, she seems to have so little of it.
She has no control. No Joff this episode either, thank God.
There are a lot of kind of characters missing. They spent a lot of time with Arya in this episode. One thing I don't see Arya as a main character. I see her as this really bit character, and I don't see her in danger. So she's she's kind of on the run, but realistically, there's no chance that people are gonna someone's gonna stumble across her. From the king's army to capture her. She might give herself away to her fellows like she did with the one boy, but in the sense I'm not oh boy, is she in danger? I never thought when those kind of king's guards come that they're gonna find her, stuff like that. So
because she was being protected.
Yeah, and she's well hidden, and how many people have ever seen Arya too, right? So.
A lot of people saw her. She was the Hand's daughter.
Yeah.
She was paraded along with Sansa in front of the entire populace of King's Landing.
Yeah.
They all knew he had X number of children.
Yeah, I always get the sense that, that Arya is this, this child and no one's going to recognize her, right? So, and especially if she's hidden, so.
Not how she looks now. Probably more unlikely. Daenerys, what did you think?
It was again a very short scene, but I think it was an interesting scene where you really see how kind of desperate their situation is, and how she's still trying to rally her supporters. That like kind of like one of her men has died. The wife of that man is just afraid that his soul is gone. Won't reach her, and she's trying to console and stuff like that. And she's kind of showing her leadership. What your thoughts?
I liked the scene. It was one of my favorites. I thought that so they dishonored him. They didn't do the appropriate thing when they killed him, and I just thought that it was one of the best scenes, the best well acted scenes in the whole show.
Yeah.
And I always like it when they speak Dothraki. I think it sounds really cool.
they I guess like another kind of main character in this episode was Jon Snow. He's outside the wall. We learn there's a few events that are happening with him. Do you want to talk about that?
I'll let you go.
Okay. To me, there was a part where like Jon is confronted with kind of this choice of like whether to help this girl or not. And he says, "Well, look, there's nothing we can really do. We can't like take her away with us. We're on a mission." He's being very realpolitik at that point. But later on, when he hears that the baby is presumably being taken out to be exposed or stuff like that, he does rush to it, like, and shows his kind of like true honor. What's that get him? It seems to get him a shot to the head at the end. So
yeah, Sam tries to step in and help that girl who's obviously being raped by her father, and she's pregnant and sort of drops the bomb that if it's a male they'll expose it, and Jon catches him in the process of doing it and gets knocked out, which is a pretty dramatic scene. So you're kind of left wondering, is Jon going to lose his hand?
Well, he might lose more than that, like,
or
but
his head.
yeah, it's the way he had he's kind of found out the dirty little secret of this like old miser in the woods there, but they beyond that, like, well, he's still his wolf, so I'm not really afraid because anything's going to happen to him. Yeah. Oh, Stannis. Yeah. I really actually I'm intrigued by this whole plot that they're going to get some pirates and some ships and raid King's Landing. I don't see it going particularly well for Stannis because, like, to me, Stannis seems to be like an incredibly weak king, just kind of ruled over by this red woman. He doesn't have any real plans of his own, so like you don't hear too much, but you get the sense he's just a dupe.
Yeah, he is, and she kind of wears the pants, and now she's seduced him away from his wife and promised him a baby. So you're gonna have to see just how far her control extends.
So I'm kind of interested. Like, there's promise of there's actually going to be a big battle coming forth. Like King's Landing is going to get some blood in the streets, which sounds interesting to me. But because this was a rather quiet episode in terms of blood.
It was, but it was full of intrigue, especially like things like Peter Baelish threatening one of his whores.
Oh yeah, I didn't care for that scene too much. I thought, I
liked it.
Like, that's not how I think of Peter Baelish. He's much more clever than to kind of overtly threaten his prostitutes like that. So, but maybe he was having a bad day. So
I don't think it was an overt threat. I disagree with you. I think that he was. Basically sort of subtly telling her, I had someone like you, and it didn't end well for her. So, it's a veiled threat, and it just shows what an evil guy he really is.
Yeah.
Which I thought was good because people sort of seem to think he's sort of neutral, and he's not.
Yeah. Well, he's the one that betrayed Ned Stark, in the first season. So he's got that, he's in the end he's in it for himself, and we can all see that. But beyond that, to me, I didn't find the scene particularly interesting, and it's just it wasn't necessary for me. Like, and I don't see, it just. I guess it's to talk a bit about his character, but it didn't really move the show along at all. So for me, I wasn't particularly enthralled with it.
I liked it. I thought it was poignant, and I thought it gave you a sense. I mean, he obviously betrayed Ned because he loved Ned's wife. That's very obvious. There's no obvious motivation for why he does what he's doing now. He's just being evil for the sake of being evil. So I thought that was really interesting. And just to see how the extent of where he can go with that, how he operates. I liked it. That was good. I like him as a character, even in spite of his evil.
So any kind of final thoughts about tonight's show?
It was okay. It was not bad.
Yeah, I'm kind of like half and half on it. Like I enjoyed some scenes, others I didn't. It's more of, again, this show is just setting up future events. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, and you have to have those shows.
Well,
you can't always have fighting shows, right? Like always battling and stuff.
No, you can't. Of course you can. You can have every show just being one battle. That's be good.
So that's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay, take care.
Have a good night.